Hey YouTube, how's it going? We're here. We're back with Linkclick Season 2, Episode 9. Really quick, if you could like the video for me, please, I greatly appreciate it. Now, we have some shenanigans afoot, like this whole season has been. This season has been nothing but shenanigans. Seemingly, what Chang is going through as Lu is different than what happened, or how the show showed us. It's weird. But how the show showed us this situation happening before, how it's currently playing out is not happening in the same way. So let's see if Lu gets caught in the bathroom, Lu/Chang gets caught in the bathroom. I don't know. Let's just see. Episode 9, we're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, episode is out, baby. Don't know what's gonna happen, like usual. I don't know. It's hard to say what's gonna happen because things aren't playing out the same way. And then we also had like Lu getting choked out, but then someone mentioned it could have been like the brothers like digging Tianchen digging inside of his wound, so that's what it could have been as well. So I don't know. Hopefully the fan that's on right now isn't too loud. Yeah, we went through this last episode where what's happening right now is not exactly how it happened before. Same outcome, but it didn't happen the same exact way. Quick thinking. Don't let the. Okay. All right, cool. Let's make haste. Why is he taking his sweet time doing this? He said these coincidences did not happen by chance. Part of me still feels like, what if this wasn't what happened? They're hammering it, like they're kind of like hammering it. And this show, to my knowledge and to my recollection, has never really hammered a point in. It's kind of like let the point flow to us. They've never like over and over and over and over. Like this is like the second or third time we've had this this concept of this is supposed to happen, right? So now it makes me feel like, since we've had a situation similar like this happen at the end of season 1, and then we're going through the same thing again, maybe this isn't what happened. Maybe what we think happened didn't happen, and now this is actually the first time Chang has gone back. Like, what if it actually was Lou? I don't know. Part of me just, it's just like, what if it actually was Lou and Lou set it up so that he does go back? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I'd like to be wrong. I'm not trying to guess to be right though either. Oh, excuse me. This episode came out an hour later than usual, by the way. It's supposed to come out at 11. It's 12:20. Ay. All right, episode 9. I didn't check with the title, or I didn't catch if the title was up yet. 3 stories. 3 stories. Part 1, inevitable tragedy. Whoa. Let's lock in. Let's lock in. Let me shut up.
因为砖墙石壁根本阻隔不住炽热的爱情，如果敢于尝试，爱情就能成功。为此，你的家人无法阻拦我。
万一他们发现了你，他们会杀了你的。
你的眼神比他们的20把剑都厉害，只要你能温柔地看着我，我就能抵挡得住敌人所有的武器。
We don't know what enmity means. It means strife. Is that what's his name? So the inevitable tragedy must be talking about him and his pain, losing his wife and his daughter. I'm assuming that's him, right? Shanlin. It's Shanlin. Right? That's what his name is?
这就是我老公，前进。
哦，
No.
经常听Lisa提起你。
Shenjin. Damn it. I'm struggling with their names. I'm so sorry. This is him, right? You know what? Shut up. Pay attention. My bad. Ooh, caught him in a lie. He lying. She said it? That was weird. That was weird. That was weird. So that is him. That's sad. He thinks she's cheating. Right? That's what it seemed like anyways. She told him one thing, mentioned that the guy went with her. Guy had no idea. Pa. Wow. Are they showing us this to cast doubt in his wife being killed and maybe he had something to do with it? No, right? Inevitable tragedy. That's what this was, right? That's tough, bro. What? 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 What'd you say? What did he say? Ah. Fortuitous comedy. Getting more? Inevitable tragedy and fortuitous comedy.
钱队，你怎么来了？
说说案情吧。
你家里的事刚忙完，我们几个在这盯着就行。你要不……
He's showing up on scene. So this case probably touched mad close to home. Depending on how much he knew. The captain said that this was the last case he worked on before he left the force, right? Did his wife die before or after he took this case? I don't remember. That I don't remember. I don't remember if he took the case before or after. Oh. So brother must have took control of mom. Whoa. So brother must have took control of mom, killed dad, then killed herself? Is this after their parents' death? Mr. Liu? Mr. Liu? The other brother. The other brother. Whoa, goosebumps. That's Minlu's brother. That's the younger brother. Right?
来，别客气。谢谢。之前听刘总说了一些关于你的遭遇，真的很遗憾。
我知道那个女的多亏你才摆平的。
今天是有什么
Talking about Emma, right?
这个是谁？
Said this woman.
看着还挺面熟的。
Maybe not.
喂，我们是不是在哪儿见过？该不会是个哑巴吧？
刘公子，有事说事嘛，何必骂人呢？
This isn't the same kid that they were as friends, right?
网上那帮键盘侠对我没日没夜的攻击，那才叫骂人。听说你帮我爸办成不少事儿，能不能也帮我办一个？
Hmm. This track is banging right now. Show me the picture. Part 3. Siblings fairy tale. It's the story that the mom told her. Yeah. A ton of evil after this episode. Bro, I'm definitely have to rewatch this episode again. I need the context again. I didn't remember if his wife died before or after he took the case, because I remember the captain saying that case was his last case before he ended up leaving, and we know he left after his wife died. I never thought that this second season would be like based around infidelities and people thinking that their partner's having infidelity. I didn't think that a lot both those stories are connected by that. The house is on fire. Wow. It's playing out exactly how we saw before. Literally playing out exactly how we saw before. Wow, cuckold. That's crazy. It's playing out like how we've seen it before. We did hear a blade though when it cut away. I was like, shit. That must be Sean. What's his name? Sean Lin. That must be him. Directing his pain, weaponizing him. Right? It's creating a monster. So is this fairy tale her point of view? Because we know that they mentioned how her mentally she's not her age. So is this fairy tale a way of like getting to see her point of view? Because she's still childlike? Oh. Something I should have told you before. Your wife was pregnant when she was murdered. He killed his wife. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I think he killed his wife. Who's in the picture? If Minlu has a younger brother, he probably asked him to kill his younger brother, didn't he? Right? Because they mentioned the younger brother of Minlu, right? We have yet to meet this individual besides kid version of him. No, that's him. Oh snap! What? What? That what? That's why he couldn't stand him. That's why he couldn't stand him. Inevitable destiny. This episode is gonna need to be rewatched, bro. 1000%. 1000% is gonna need to be rewatched. So it was Chang. I can throw away that theory of thinking. Or maybe not. Dude, what the freak? I don't know. But the whole fact of the matter is, if he's already done this before, how can he stop it? You get what I mean? That's where the whole time loop thing gets wonky, because that's a good point. Is it actually Chang still? It's gonna get real confusing really quick. It's gonna get confusing really fast. It's gonna get confusing really fast, because he has a 12-hour window, right? Or how long does Chang's ability last? Because we know that Lu can look 12 hours into the future. Or not look 12, like his ability is for 12 hours when he's looking in the photo. Like, how long does Chang's last? Like, is there a time limit on Chang? Is it possibly be double possessed? I don't know. We still don't know. Okay, so I don't want to be 100% on any of these thoughts I'm thinking. I definitely have to rewatch this episode, just in the nature of how they presented things, and then me trying to recollect what the show has previously told us about these situations. To our knowledge, it seemed like Shan Lin had a good marriage. He had a loving wife. They were both in love. She was pregnant, and then she ended up getting murdered. But from this episode, they had a strained relationship, it felt like. From that point of view, he was slipping into alcoholism. I think it was clear that there was something going on with his wife. Do I want to just jump to conclusions and call her a cheater? No. But if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, then damn it, it's a duck. So she mentioned to him about finding a new place for their plays and stuff, so that they could perform and whatnot. And she said, "Oh, we did dinner, and then we went here after." And the homeboy completely dimed her out. He's like, "No, we didn't. We didn't do that." And then she's like, "Nah, remember? Yes. And then he's like, "Oh, yeah." And then she mentioned, like, I don't understand how someone can mess up so many times at once. Like, why? It's like you went ahead and told a lie without telling the person that you're frolicking around with what the lie was going to be. So then when you all three were together and she brings it up, you fumble. And then she mentions something, and then he's like, they made that building already into something. And now she's got to go ahead and lie again. Like, as if you weren't already suspicious, if he just wanted to go down there and look to see if there was a little tiny part that wasn't being used. If that wasn't there, then you're just a liar. And then she's on the phone. I'm not even saying like what she was talking about was enough to it's a slippery slope. The last thing I want to do is call her a cheater and what some people would say, blame her for the reason why she ended up getting killed, which is kind of crazy. But some people, I've had this conversation before where it's just like, it's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm just putting everything that's out there. But they made it, see, I feel like if you're emotionally immature or compromised, you would just look at her as being 100% in the wrong, and she definitely did it. And some people would say she got what she has coming to her. I'm not gonna say all that. I felt like it was presented in a way that was suspicious but not incriminating 100%. Something's going on. I don't know if it's a lack of communication or a failure in their marriage, and this is being perceived that way, and it's not that bad, or there's something more than just a friendship going on, or maybe they are just friends, and maybe she's just trying to just live. I don't know. We have no idea. She's no longer here, and he's mentally compromised too. But it definitely feels like this went from his wife was murdered to he killed his wife. And he was, it definitely feels that way, because I don't think you pair him and Tianxin together if that's not the case, because Tianxin admitted to killing both of his parents. And then you look at Chanlin. He would have killed his wife and then found out after the fact that his wife was pregnant, and then there's a chance that he killed his wife, like his baby, or he killed some other dude's baby. We don't know. But that weird, crazy laugh, definitely is the same. Now, I don't know why I was thinking Homeboy. I still don't know. Homeboy, the little kid with the black hair that was talking to Tianxin when they were kids. He said Mr. Liu. So is that the younger brother of Min Liu, or was that Min Liu? I still don't know. I don't know if it was a translation thing, but Min Liu definitely said bro at the end when they were toasting after he laughed at the photo. So I don't know if this was like we're working with him, he calls him bro, the dad calls him bro too, or does Min Liu actually have a younger brother, and that's what the scene was, just tying that in whenever he was talking to Tianxin, and the butler dude was like, Mr. Liu, come on, we need to go. So I'm wondering if that is indeed the younger brother that the dad said, I wish you were more like your brother. I wish you were more like your younger brother. Which we still haven't met that individual. Now, it's just how crazy and ironic is it that Min Liu goes to them asking for someone to be killed, and it ends up being the neighbor who maybe Lu Guang is secretly Min Liu's brother. I didn't want to say that just because of the black hair. I don't know. What was the name? What was the name of the four of the titles of each section? Hold on. I want to look at what the titles were of each section. What? Inevitable Tragedy. That was part 1. Part 2 was Fortuitous. What was it called? Not Fortuitous. Hold on. I'm looking. It would be crazy if Mr. Liu was Luke. the Mr. Liu from the flashback. Oh, it's back here. Hold on. Fortuitous comedy. And then the last one was siblings fairy tale. Right? I think that's what it was called. Fortuitous laughter. So we had inevitable tragedy, fortuitous laughter, and siblings tragedy. That's what this was, right? Siblings fairy tale. My bad. Siblings fairy tale. Fortuitous comedy. Fortuitous comedy? Laughter? Damn it. I forgot. How I messed up that fast. Fortuitous comedy. And we have inevitable tragedy. I need the whiteboard, bro. I'm gonna have to break the whiteboard out, especially for this. Inevitable tragedy. Fortuitous is, what is fortuitous? Like random? Hold on. I'm Googling it. Fortuitous is like random, right? By like randomly happening or something like that. Fortuitous, happening by accident or chance rather than design. Happening by accident or chance. So it's kind of like, yeah, fortuitous comedy. The creepy laughter, and it's just by chance. This man going through what he's going through just happens to stumble across these kids that went through this. And this boy doing something like he did, killing both of his parents seemingly. Because it definitely seems like Tianxin possessed the mom, killed the dad, and then killed the mom himself. That's what it seems like. And then him saying, I killed my parents, that's definitely what happened. Especially having it confirmed that he is the one that has the power to possess. Now, hold on. This episode has to be rewatched because upon understanding that his wife possibly is cheating, listening to this scene again with the two of them acting. And I want to look at it again because I want to look at their eyes and how they're looking and how it's been being presented to us. Like, they really look like they're on the stage in love. Like, it feels like they're acting maybe too good. That's why, like, the audience might react to it well. Like, look at him. He's ice cold. He's ice cold in that stand. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hell, that don't seem like that. Look at that scene again. Do I have it up on? Look at that scene again. That looks like it. That looks like this man he already assumed something was going on between the both of them. And he was sitting there. It went over to him and he's stone cold. He looks like a serial killer, how stone cold he was. When they pan up to him, this shot right here. Look at that face. Look at this face. That looks like the face of a killer. Those eyes look dead inside. So you go from that, right? And then it cuts back over to them. And look at the way they look at it. I can't play it. I don't want to get clapped up. But their eyes are shimmering. They only do that effect when people are in love in anime or in any animated thing. Their eyes are shimmering. And then you get this look, And then from this look, it goes from that look and it cuts over to him. And when it cuts over to him, he's crying because it's like he's looking at them, look at each other, and he's like, damn. That's what that is. That's that look. I know that look. I seen that look. I done felt that look. I know what that look is. I know what that look is. That's the look of realization. When you're sitting there and everything is pointing to this being the case, but you can't prove it. You can't prove it. And you just see something and it just clicks. And it's just like, I'll be damned. I'll be damned. That's what that look is. He's crushed. He's crushed. And then that's when it cuts away to the backstage scene. He mentions like, my wife always talks about you, yada yada yada. She often praises your acting skills and teach her a lot. You promise to support my career. And look, but then look, he's putting on the show. He's putting that show on. Yeah, your career is great. You're great. You're great. And then as soon as it was just like, you promise to support my career. Boom. By the way, look at that stone cold face. Look at them eyes. Oh, wow. Watching this scene again with the context of knowing that he might have actually done this. This man knows, and he's trying to figure it out. Look at that face. Look how stone cold that face is. He's like, how's the new venue you visited together the day before yesterday? And this right here goes straight. It goes straight into the scene of, look, he's stone cold. Them eyes are stone cold. And the homeboy is like what? Like, what are you talking? Like, new venue? He was like, we haven't found one. Like, what do you? Because I don't understand what you're talking about. And then she looks over and she mentions like that place on the road. And she's like, we went after dinner that evening. We went. And then now he's backtracking. First, he had no idea. She mentions, we went to that place over there. Oh, yeah, that place was too expensive. As he's sweating. Right? As it's too expensive. Like, it wasn't on our radar. He's stone cold. We cut back to him. Stone cold. And then this is when he hits her with the Uno reverse. That old plant was rebuilt into some commercial offices. What are you talking about? It was abandoned. It's not abandoned no more. Hits her with the Uno reverse. Now she's scrambling. He hits her with that. And she's like, oh, it's a really tiny area in the back. It's inadequate. Yada, yada, yada. And now she's trying to end the conversation, brush it away. Come on, let's go eat. Let's go out to dinner. Nah, bro. And then now he's like, nah, I'm not coming out here. I don't want to be a third wheel. And then it changes. The lighting changes. That's the, I got them. I know. Mm-hmm. This whole interaction told me everything I needed. That's what that look is. That look is, this interaction told me everything I needed. I asked a question. You two gave me two different answers. You gave me two different answers and then you backtracked. 2 times. Both of y'all. That man did that, bro. He did that. Yeah, look. Look at that. That man knows. This is the look of a man that's dead inside. That's what that is. That man knows. That man knows. Time out. Hold on. Am I not realizing something? Whoa, hold on. Was this the moment it happened? Do you think this is the moment? What episode was that? Hold on, time out. What episode was his backstory when it showed his wife laid out on the floor? Damn it. What episode was it? There's too many episodes. What episode was it? This might be the moment. Why else would she be spooked? Right? Why else would she be spooked like that? Is it 4? Four, right? It's hard. This was the day, wasn't it? This was it, wasn't it? This is her apron, so it's. I can't just be like, oh, she's wearing her apron. She probably puts that apron on every day when she does housework. So I can't go off that. But can I go off of what she's wearing? She's wearing a white garment. The sleeve was cuffed, right? Her sleeve was cuffed. This has to be the day. This moment right here that we've seen in this episode must be the moment. I'm trying to see if there's anything in his hand. Like, what do we think this is, right? Does he have something in his hand? Or is it just a balled up fist? Because she was stabbed. I'm trying to see what that shadow hand is. That looks like a wristwatch right there. I don't see a blade. I don't think I see a blade. I don't think I see a blade. It just looks like a balled up fist, but it's hard to say. But he's enshadowed. She's sitting here. She's spooked, man. Spooked the hell out of her. Almost as if like he wasn't supposed to be there. You know what I mean? Like he spooked her. This has to be the moment. This has to be the day when she died. I don't know. I don't know. And then if this was... He definitely did that, bro. He definitely did. He definitely did. This sounds like a man still venting off of what he just did. Yeah, he did that. He killed her. I think he killed her. I do. I think he killed her. So, here's the question. My thought before this episode, this show always playing games, bro. My thought before the question was Sean that he wanted to use Chanshin to go back in time to stop his wife from being killed. But if he killed his wife, what are we going back in what are we doing this for? My whole thought of what he was doing this for is gone seemingly now. What are we doing it for? What's the point? I don't know. Every time I feel like I get into their mind, I don't. I was sure an episode or two ago that's what they were doing it for. And this episode just completely throws that out the window, seemingly. Does he want to go back in time and stop himself from not doing it? Dude, I don't know. This freaking show's got me again. Definitely gonna have to rewatch this episode again. Because just skimming through part 1, the inevitable tragedy, just skimming through that with perspective changes all of that whole scene completely. Wow. So I can't imagine what fortuitous comedy is like. And also is this like, I'm pretty sure the siblings fairy tale, that's the sister's point of view. That, in my opinion, that's the sister's point of view, because it's in the fairy tale thing, and we know that mentally she's not her physical age. That's what they said, basically. So, and we know that the fairy tale was something that the mom told her specifically, well, the both of them, but it was a story that she told the kids, and that's like the framework. We get to see this. It went down the same exact way, and we had the two birds. It didn't even click. Like the two birds, if we're thinking on their situation, we only would have thought that it would have been the security guard at the gate that's putting stuff in the dad's ear. But you see the two birds. The two birds was already a hint that there was another person feeding information, but I didn't put that together. It was the freaking next door neighbor. It was the freaking next door neighbor. It was the next door neighbor and the gate guard just gossiping. So part of me wonders if he felt guilty. Part of me wonders if he feels guilty because you got these two talking about it, security guard going back to the husband, and then after he's going back to the husband, he gets into a situation where the wife is just getting beat, and he probably feels terrible about it, and that's why he ends up calling. Maybe he feels terrible. I don't know, but but man, it's freaking crazy. I'm gonna have to rewatch this episode for sure. And it confused me about Lu Guang's behavior is why he tried to sneak out of the hospital. See, I don't know. I was under the impression that it could have still been. What the show is trying to tell us was that it was Chang. And now that I didn't even finish that thought a half an hour ago when I started going off on the retelling of the freaking episode. But the show is trying to tell us that the whole time Lu running around for the last couple episodes was Chang. And I this is the last thing I said. I said this is where time loops get weird, because what variables have to happen in order for a change to happen? Right? Like, what is different about the run that we're currently viewing, the timeline that we're currently viewing? What's different now that didn't happen before, that didn't cause the change to happen? Because it's this whole loop. It's like, if it's like using season 1 for an example. If Chang, like, we watched Chang go back in time and bump into Chao Li, and she bumped into Chao Li, but then we hear Chao Li tell us that experience of her bumping into someone, not remembering who it was, thinking she's seen the kid, thinking it's not. So it's like, all those years ago, she experienced that. So when we're going through this, it's like, oh, so Chang was supposed to go back in time. So when we get to this moment in this episode where the last 2 episodes, Lu's been running around, he saved Chang, ends up getting captured himself, and then we're being told that it was Chang possessing Lu the whole time. But then Chang as Lu is like, I don't want to do this anymore. Right? Like, I don't want to do this anymore. What's different about now that would make Chang just stop, right? Like what's different now? Because this, like, he has to do this, otherwise there's a break. Like stuff doesn't work. If Chang does be like, I'm not doing this, I'm gonna try to change things. Lu he already went back in time as Lu is running around and ended up on the boat and got taken away. So what's, like, if he doesn't do that and doesn't get on the boat and go away with Tianchen, what happens? Like what happens? That's where it's just like timeline shenanigans stuff always confuses me, because it already happened and we're now watching it again. That's what's not correlating for me. It would work if everything we were seeing up until now is being told to us that it was Chang as Lu. But if it actually just was Lu the whole time, like everything that happened before, Lu running, jumping on the boat, all that stuff, it was Lu. And Lu left the phone with the picture so Chang could go back and change it. So instead of it being Chang as Lu running around and trying to break time, it actually was Lu that just got up and did this and just gritted through it and forced his way through. And now we have Chang going back. That's why things are a little bit different. That's why I'm still stuck on it. I'm still stuck on it because the events, how it played out last episode, the beginning of this episode, and how they showed it happen to us before, it happened two completely different ways. Two completely different ways, which makes me feel, especially how detail oriented this team is putting the show together, every little detail matters. There's so many things that don't match from how they showed that scene happen initially when we very first saw it for the very first time, and how they retold it to us at the end of last episode and the beginning of this episode. They're different. Things are happening out of order. There are items there that should be there but are not there, which makes me feel like it's two completely different things happening. So that's why I'm still kind of stuck on, what if it was Lu that did that, left the phone and made everyone think that it was inevitable and that he had to go back. And then Chang is just trying to follow Lu's footsteps as close as possible. That's why but then that's when you get the whole thing during the episode. It's like there's too many coincidences, right? It's too many coincidences. He said that during this episode. There's too many coincidences. Like how did the guy almost open the door but not open the door? How did you walk out the bathroom, the guy almost turns around but not almost turns around? How do you get all the way down the stairs and the nurse isn't looking at you but isn't looking at you and you can get away? How can you almost not get across the crosswalk but you get across it? How can you still run around but you're still in, like, there's too many things just don't make sense. Too many things are just about to happen but they're not happening. There's something going on. That's the whole theme that I've been harping on the whole season. They're showing us things out of order. They're showing us things front to back to front, right to left, and left to right. They're showing us things in so many different ways. And we're going to get to a point where they finally show us what's actually happening for real. And it's going to blow our minds. And they've been doing it throughout the season. And even in those things, they're still giving us more on top of those things. That's why I'm like, we're getting hit with this whole inevitable and changing things. I feel like I don't even know what to feel anymore. I don't even know what to feel anymore. I don't even know anymore. I don't even remember what my point was. I don't remember if I had a point after we watched this episode. I think I'm certain that what's the dude's name? Sean Liu? Whatever the hell his name is. Evil hot guy. I'm pretty sure he killed his wife. He by chance, literally by chance, as of right now, by chance, he got the kids as his case and stuck with them. And that's the only concrete thing I have right now. I think Mr. Liu, I think Min Lu's younger brother is the person that Tianchen was talking to as a kid. I do think that because we still have yet to meet that kid, and he's so important to all of this. I do think in the siblings fairy tale, the person with the bow and arrow, that's either Min Lu's younger brother. It's either him or that is Shan Lu, Evil Hawkeye. I think it's one of those two. It's either Min Lu's younger brother or it's Chan Lu. I think that's the same, Evil Hawkeye. It's one of those two. And that's what I think. It's either one of them. But then what it made it seem like from the siblings fairy tale is that they went on this crusade of just killing people, of owning his ability, just killing people, just going after the people that wronged them. That's what it felt like. That because they was going after the birds, and the birds were the people that were planting the seeds in the dad's head. It felt like we were going after the people that did us wrong, might have did Chan Lu wrong. So maybe we killed the person that she had an affair with. We killed the guy. We killed the security guard. We killed that guy. I don't remember how many people got shot, but when it just started spiraling to killing seemingly random people or killing people that were in similar situations as us, the sister was like, nah, that's kind of like, she didn't say nah, it's kind of crazy, but she kind of freaked because it's like, okay, we've been doing this and it's been the bad people, but now it's not the bad people anymore. That's just seemingly a lady with her kids too, and we're just gonna kill them, and him probably not even realizing it, or just being caught up in the bloodlust or whatever, or just being told to do this because they're just taking jobs. But then it's just like he tries to go after it. So I think that might be the case. I don't know what that's contingent on. I don't know if that's Min Lu's brother or if that's from Evil Hawkeye. I don't know. No idea. Shouldn't be usual. Lose themselves for time travel since the plot holes. For example, to be a success in my view. You think so far linkclick is? I think linkclick is on. It's on a slippery slope. It feels like it could end up on it. I don't know. I'm not really a time travel person. I don't hate time travel stuff, but I don't watch that many time travel stuff. Time travel stuff is too galaxy brain for me. You got too many. It's the whole thing of like, if everything is a time loop and everything has happened, like what are the variables that are causing things to change, and how are we changing things? We've seen things slightly change, but not dramatic curves. But when you start having these scenes where the one character is possessing 3 different people at 3 completely different time periods, and they're all interacting at the same exact time, that gets it makes it harder to follow. Because now I'm like, when I think back on that scene, that's not actually the character, that's someone else controlling the character. So it's like the whole time when we're watching this thing, it's like Lu's going crazy. It really was Chang the whole time. So it's like Chang saved himself. But then, like, hell, for all we know, we could go back to this scene in a couple episodes and everyone could be Chang. I don't freaking know. Everyone could be Chang. That's where it could get a little funky. But it makes for cool moments whenever you're at the end of season 1 and Tianchen is like, hey, I'm giving you the call, and we're confused as to what it is. And then as we get through the next episode, we get to see right as we get to the next episode, go through the episode, we get to see the moments that leads up, and it's just like, oh, it connects. That's kind of crazy. What? Same photo cannot be reused. We're to remember. What if I take this picture, right, and then I wait 5 seconds and then I take a picture again? That's all. It's just like we haven't discussed that. What if I take 3 pictures of the same moment? So it's just like, it's at that point, I should just turn my phone or my camera to burst. So I just take 4 or 5 images of every single thing so I can constantly go back and relive the scene. That's what I should do. That's what I should do. So it's just like I have a bunch of different pictures of the same moment. So it's just like, damn, I could redo it. I could try to go back again. But then it's just like, I don't know. You saw Lou, you think one is another misdirection? I'm still gonna say that it wasn't Lou. I mean that it was Lou. That's what I'm sticking to. That initially when we see the boat crash into the other boat and he dives off, I'm gonna say that actually was Lou. And Lou took the picture and left it for Chang so that Chang can go back and change. What I think, this is why I feel like the series is never, I mentioned this at the start. We are an hour and 19 minutes into this discussion or into this recording. I mentioned this at the very beginning of this video. Nobody was here with me. Mention this. I mentioned this during the opening, that this series never hammers points home. They never consistently hammer a point. They usually just let the point come to us. They usually let the point come to us. We usually get somewhere and it's just like, oh wow, that's what it is. They never hammer it. And so far they've been hammering this inevitable destiny, which makes me feel like it's a misdirect. It makes me feel like we're supposed to think that Chang possessed Lou initially. Possessed them, ran through the city, ran through the town, took the boat, crashed, and saved himself. I think the show wants us to think that happened. But in all actuality, this is where I think it's Lou, because we know that Lou has secrets. We don't even know how Lou's ability really works. We know everyone's ability has multiple like facets to it. Everyone's ability that we see has multiple facets to it. We only see Lou looking into pictures. That's it. Looking into pictures, looking into footage. We don't get to see him do anything else. We know nothing about him. It makes me feel like Lou set this up so that Chang can go back and change something. That's what I feel. I think he leaves the phone with the picture so that Chang thinks that he's supposed to go and take over Lou. And then that's when we get Chang getting to this moment of, it's because of you, Lou, that I want to change this. And he makes a change. And then we're sitting there like, oh my goodness, we changed the past. But in all actuality, Chang never went back. He never did. That's what I think. I think Lou made it so that we can go back and change things. That's what I think. I'm thinking Lou broke his own rule and set Chang up so that we could change events from happening. That's what I'm thinking. It's so difficult to predict this show. I do think that. It just, things don't match up. Whenever things make sense in this show, things make sense in this show. And anyone watching this, anyone that watches the show knows that. When we get to a point and we've buried that point makes sense all the way around. Look at it frontwards, look at it backwards, look at it sideways. Once everything about the situation is known, it is known and it makes sense. Nothing about this whole Lou thing in the hospital room and the boat, nothing makes sense yet. That's why I feel like all the information isn't known and we're still not done with this. It doesn't make sense. The animation team is too detail oriented to have the characters acting out of, like, one, the slippers are in one scene but aren't in another scene. In one scene, it's when they're trying to get in the room, it's 1, 2, 3, boom, they bust in the room, the 3 of them go in, the 3 of them walk over, then the dude gets on the phone, runs back, turns around and goes into the hallway. We look at that scene again, it's 1, 2, 3, boom, the 3 go into the room, 2 of them walk forward, the other one hangs back, and then the other one looks at his phone and then he runs away. It's different. It's totally different than how it was before. The slippers weren't there initially, but now they're there. Like, at no point in time did we see Homeboy turn around. At no point in time did we see Homeboy turn around and attempt to go to the bathroom door, and then someone, what's his face? And then someone distracts him and then tells him to go look at security footage. No point in time did we see them talking and then about to turn around and then not, because we were with them for a minute. We were with them as they bust through the door. He goes on the phone, he comes back in, they go over, they talk, they look outside. Like, we're with them that whole time, and it's different. That's why I feel like Lou did that by himself. That's why I feel like Lou did that himself, and Chang going back was not initially what happened, and now things are just lining up, right? Things are lining up, and it's just, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. The show definitely wants us to believe. The show wants us to believe that Chang was the one that took over Lou. So what the show wants us to, I'm still on my island. The show wants us to believe that Chang took over Lou. So the reason why Lou would know that is because he lived it already, because it was Chang. You know what I mean? That's where the whole loop comes in. Lou would always know where Chang was getting on the boat because it was Chang the whole time. In the loop, Chang experienced Lou crashing into the boat and jumping off and saving him every time. So that's why Lou knows, is because it was Chang. That's what the show's trying to tell us. I don't believe it. I think Lou has a different part of his ability that he used so that he could get that information and got there somehow, some way, and gritted his way out. That's what I think. But the show wants us to believe that it was Chang. And I feel like the show's being heavy-handed. And the show's never heavy-handed. Never heavy-handed on what they want you. They just present you a lot of information, let you come to your conclusion, and then they tell you the truth. They're never, ever heavy-handed like they have been the last couple episodes. They just keep throwing destiny in your face. Destiny, it's intended destiny. It's intended. You can't break it. It's destiny. It's destiny. It's destiny. In the first season, you know what they said? The only thing that was the reminder, and it wasn't multiple characters saying it, it was Lou talking to Chang, hey, don't mess stuff up. We have to make sure that things end up exactly the way it ends up. That's it. And the only reason why I kept being brought up is because Chang always would get emotionally invested and try to mess things up. And that's why we have to go ahead and keep mentioning that. But that's not being heavy-handed. That's just your character just being a little airheaded and constantly needing to be reminded of what we can and can't do in the past. This is different. This is destiny, 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 destiny. And I think they're trying to get you to believe one way, so when that curve comes and it hits, it's got everybody. I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling. All right, I'm calling it. I've been here an hour and a half. It's probably 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's 1:40. Episode came out at 12. So I still got to rewatch the freaking episode. I'm calling it. Have a good one. I appreciate you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Do I sound crazy? This was about 40 minutes ago. Don't come after me over what I was saying about Sean Liu and his wife, because I feel like I was speaking rationally. I feel like I wasn't talking out of pocket. I feel like I wasn't talking crazy. but I feel like I was on point. I always feel like I'm on point. I feel like I was on point with that one though. So let me know what you guys think. Hop down there. I'll try to hop down there and I'll talk, because I just haven't been in the comment mood the last couple of weeks. So definitely gonna hop down there. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Thank you guys. Have a good rest of your Friday. Have a good weekend coming up. Have a good next week. And hopefully, God willing, I see you guys right back here next Friday for episode 10. Episode 10. Dude, there's only like 2 episodes left. Wow. 2 or 3 episodes left. Episode 10 of Link Click Season 2. So again, thank you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you. Peace out.